doing good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. I appreciate you taking this time. Before we dive into the opponent change and all of that with Hannah Gabriels, I want to go back to your last performance with Savannah Marshall. That fight was phenomenal. And I've seen you in a lot of excellent competitive performances, but that one in particular almost seemed like transformative, not just what you did in the ring, but the reaction by fans across the sport to your win. And it seemed like a whole new dynamic of fan base was born, and all of these things happened with your victory. So how do you think that performance, highlighted a new high point in your career, or did you have the same type of transformative feel?
I think that fight definitely raised my stock, raised my value, raised my respect. And I think that fight is actually one of the reasons why I'm fighting here in America now in front of 15,000 fans at LCA June 3rd. I think that at first people didn't really know, or they didn't want to accept that I was the real deal, that I was really the best. And then the way that I dismantled her and that I beat her showed them that. And then I did it over there in the UK. I think America just got tired of me fighting in the UK, and they're like, we need to welcome this girl back to the USA where she belongs. So I think that the boxing world seen two great women fight against each other, and they seen the best versus the best. They seen undefeated records. They seen trash talk and lead up, and like the fight delivered. So I am thinking that fight definitely helped my career. Me beating her, not the fight with her, but me beating her, and they were hyping her up to be as big as she was. It definitely. And it just showed them that look at how the world reacted to this. It wasn't just big in the UK. It was 6 million views worldwide, 2 million in the UK, 20,000 fans there to see us, on an all women's card. So I think America now gets what I was saying, that America needs to do the same thing for its athletes, especially the women fighters here, especially when you got the pound for pound #1 woman who's from America. So why am I fighting in the UK anyway? So let's make the big fights here. Let's give her the beans. Let's give her the opportunity, because I've already proved myself over and over again.
Well, again, congratulations to you, champ, on that phenomenal performance. Thoroughly enjoyed that. That was a hot fight, a hot event, period. So now we shift over to the match at hand, June 3rd, going back to Detroit and giving Detroit the eye that you've always wanted to spotlight boxing, to fight for your hometown at Little Caesars Arena. So how was this a long time in the making, or was it a lot of things intersected at just the right time? That this fight in particular, I know you've always wanted to fight at home, but
it got to be the stars aligning, honestly. LCA has never had a boxing match, and I think that the thought of me actually, when I went to the Pistons game, and me just having that thought to myself, like, man, it'd be great to fight here. Me not even knowing that Little Caesars never even had a boxing match. And I think that it started with me speaking it first, and me just having that thought, and then speaking it, and then me saying something to my team, and then all of a sudden they start working on it. And I think that's how we're aligned. I think that all the time that I went to the Pistons game and I spoke to everyone there, and everyone see how nice I am and how easy I am to work with, that I think that when the idea was presented to them, I think that I know that they were excited about it, and that they want the fight to happen, and they wanted me to be the one to open it up. So who better to open up LCA with boxing than, the Globe?
That's right. And now different opponent change, but that's okay, because ironic, I went back and just to the archives and watching you since you turned pro. You guys have communicated, you and Maricela Cornejo, who you'll now be fighting, have talked, crossed paths before, and have been mentioned in conversation just because of weight classes, and you guys both fighting around the same weight class. Is now this fight a full circle moment, or how would you describe, she was a last minute replacement for Hannah, who tested positive for a banned substance, but does it have a still feel of a full circle moment? Because she's been calling you out for many, many years, and it just didn't align.
Maricela ain't been calling me out. I don't know where you got that from. Maricela ain't never called me out. ever.
Well, mentioning your name
She
and the
may,
same
she may
way.
have she may have mentioned me, but anybody who call out Claressa Shields out, they can get this smoke. So I believe that I knew that me and her would fight one day. I just didn't know when, and I'm happy that, that she stepped up for this opportunity, that she was available, that she was in shape, that she was in training, and that she had such a high ranking with the organization for them to even approve this fight. It's unfortunate about, Hannah Gabriel, and I just wish, her well and whatever she decides to do next, and just hope that she just stop doing whatever she was doing and, get back on the right side of the road. I know sometimes we want to win so bad that we think that we can do things like that, but clean sport is here for a reason. That's why VADA is here, and random testing, and it's needed across the board. So I just want to kind of brush her off and just kind of, focus on Cornejo. But I knew that the fight between me and her would happen one day. It was more about her getting where she wanted to get to in her career. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've already been number one, still number one, pound for pound number one. I think that she has been sharpening her skills to where she can actually compete, and that this opportunity may have just come at the best time for her. So I'm excited about it. And I know she gonna come talking trash because she likes to do that. And you all know that I'm a great that I'm a great trash talker. So I look forward to the whole, showdown in Motown.
Mm-hmm. She's a taller fighter than Hannah Gabriel's. So and the fight is approaching. Talk a little bit about not your strategy per se, but fighting a smaller fighter, fighting a taller fighter. What, just observing it as just a boxing consumer, explain the difference between fighting a smaller fighter, fighting a taller fighter.
Well, I just fought against Savannah Marshall, who's taller than both of them. Okay. We've already acknowledged that she's taller than Hannah Gabriel. So we were doing a certain thing with my jab, and now we have to change that. But I've always known how to, punch. I think I'm really great at my range. So her being taller and, her being a little bit longer than Gabriel isn't really gonna matter. Skills pay the bills, and I'm gonna use my skills and go on there and figure her out and hopefully get her out.
Get her out early, go to distance. Any early predictions? You train for a whole fight, but
I was training to knock out Hannah Gabriel. So with that preparation, I can't change that mindset. So my mindset is still to knock out Maricela Cornejo and, put her on her butt. I believe that she's coming, she's prepared. And of course, she doesn't want to get knocked out, of course, but I think that everything that I was doing to prepare for Hannah Gabriel, who I think may be stronger, even though she's smaller. She may be stronger than Maricela Cornejo. So I think that my strength that I have, that I prepared for this fight, that if Maricela Cornejo isn't prepared for that it may be a shock to her, how strong I am, how fast I am. And like I said, new opponent, same goal. So win the fight, win unanimously, win by knockout, win by knockdowns, just win in every way possible.
Before we wrap up, the pros and cons of now fighting at home, a lot more phone buzzing. How would you, keep the distance, block out the noise, make sure you create a layer so that you stay, on the main task, which is winning the fight?
I have an assistant. I have a team. They all deal with that. I don't deal with that. I don't sell tickets. I mean, I sell them online and tell you where to go buy them, but I don't physically handle tickets. I don't talk about tickets to people on the phone. I don't set up interviews. All I do is train, eat, drink water, and just focus. So to me, there is no pros and cons, honestly. I think, well, it's only one con that I'll say. And it's like during the fight, I try to recognize voices that I know, right? So I know my coach's voice, but so that makes me pay attention to his voice. Now I'll have my mom and my dad and my sister and my brother and all them be ringside, and I'll be able to hear stuff that they say. And I don't like that. I like to be able to just hear my coach. So that's the only con that I see. And the only thing that my family gonna yell is knock her out, hit her in the face. And it's like I want to hear what Coach John is saying, but of course I recognize my sister's voice before I recognize Coach John's voice, right? So I think that's the only con, to be honest.
I know they're super hyped. I know they're super hyped that everybody can get together and be right front and center.
Yeah, only my mom was able to come to the UK with me. So it was, 20,000 fans in the house, and maybe it was me, my two coaches, my mom, my assistant, my makeup artist, her cousin, and I believe that maybe 5 other people in the arena were cheering for me. So, well, not to have like just this moment of, 50. We got 15,000, but at least 14,000 to be there cheering for me, because Maricela gonna bring her own little fan base.
After that last fight, I think a lot more of them 5 or 10 was cheering for you after you left England. And so,
Agreed.
Segue into that. So I thank you for your time, champ. Have a wonderful fight. I'm looking forward to seeing you perform. To wrap it up, this is about you. But, another big announcement, I won't ask you to pick, but are you going to be front row and center for the big fight?
I'm going to be there in Las Vegas when Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Yes, I'm going to be there. Okay. Yeah, I have to be there. I have to witness that greatness. I'll be there.
It's hype. Well, I thank you again, champ, for your time. Have a wonderful fight. I'm looking forward to seeing you, and thank you again.